It's easy to make a garden style bouquet, and I have just the right flowers for you. My name is Christy Hulsey, and I'm with Colonial House of Flowers. Just look at these beautiful flowers. It's one of the most luxurious flowers in the world, and it's one of the prettiest to me. It's my new favorite. It has a very earthy, organic aesthetic. To me, with a light brown color with its tan undertones, it reminds me of the warmth of the sand of the beach or of the desert. To me, it's a surprising and unexpected color. It has a large bud. I think it's one of the most alluring flowers in the world. It has a sturdy stem. It's a very sweet flower. It has a woodsy aesthetic, rich velvety petals. Let's get started. Our shop started in 1968, so I've seen a lot of trends within the floral industry and the bridal industry, but some things remain the same. There's three things that I think are most important when you're building a garden style bouquet. One is the recipe, the second are the materials, and the third is the story. And today I'm going to tell you how to put those all together to make an easy garden style bouquet. A good garden style bouquet starts with a good floral recipe. Today I'm featuring roses and also ranunculus grown on the RosaPrima farm. I like to use vines and things that have meaning to me, like eucalyptus. So you'll see that I have eucalyptus and a little bit of jasmine vine that I clipped. I believe that the materials in the story are also important. So it's important to source your materials from a good farm or a good place that you know or that you trust and believe in, because every florist is only as good as their materials. I feel like every bouquet has a story and is a reflection of the person who's making it and who you're giving it to. And today's story is about the Moab. The Moab is a large bloom rose that is grown in the hills of the Andes Mountains. I fell in love with the RosaPrima farm when I visited. It is a family-run farm, and the people who work there are amazing. They put their whole heart into growing these flowers, and you can see it. Let's get started. I start my bouquets with what I call a skeleton. This just sort of gives it an armature. Today I have a vine, a little iliagnus, and a little bit of eucalyptus. My grandmother used to always clip and send me eucalyptus. So when I saw this on the side of the road, I had to stop and clip a little for today's tutorial. I tend to use flowers in the same color tones, so it's not too busy, but I like to add hints of other colors. I like to start in threes and work from there. And I like to clip my stems as I go along. They're lighter in color and not really a big part of our story or a tiny ingredient. They're not the main flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and go with three again, but put them a little bit closer to the bottom. Even though other farms may grow a David Austin rose, I find that the ones grown at RosaPrima are superior. And you can keep your hands kind of loose. So we have movement. Oh, and these are the most amazing spray roses. And the stems that you cut off work great as bouquets or in bud vases. And now I'm going to add a few flowers that are ones that I just found on the way to work today. I believe that your flower story is a big part of your bouquet. Every season has a story. I think this helps your brides also remember when she sees these roses or she sees these same flowers on the side of the road, then maybe she recognizes, oh, this is the same time of year that I got married. They have the same scent, the same feel, the same temperature, just basically the same aesthetic. I like my bigger stems down low, and the stems that are a little more dainty and feminine, I just like for them to sort of dance around the bouquet. Making a bouquet makes me nervous. It is my favorite element of a wedding, and it's very special to the bride, and it's very special to me, but it makes me nervous. And until I get it finished, I'm not usually the most pleasant person to be around. You can ask anyone in my shop. I want it to be perfect for the bride and really tell her story. When you forage, you don't have to be limited to going out in the woods. You have to think outside of the vase here, and you could forage at a fast food restaurant or maybe an overgrown ditch, maybe a nursery. I believe that the flowers grown on the RosaPrima farm are the most luxurious and iconic in the world. And I've seen a lot of flower farms and I've seen a lot of flowers. So to me, it gives it balance when I can balance it out with some flowers that maybe I saw grow it in a weed patch or right at my front door of my flower shop or the front door of my house. Since the Moab is our flower story here, I think that maybe we should add a few more. People always want to know how I wrap my bouquets, and there's really nothing fancy to it. Rubber bands come on the roses. I cut my stems very low. I believe that the bouquet is the star, and I want it to be the bride's. So if she has shorter stems, there's no question if you hold it this way or if you hold it that way or if there's a front or a back. For every one of my bouquets, I cut the stems very short. I'll end up cutting them so short that it's just the length of my hand. And that way there's only one way they can hold it, and that's forward. And whenever she's standing with her bridesmaids, it just looks like a sea of flowers. It looks like you have more flowers than you do. And it breaks up the visual. Otherwise, you see part stems, part flowers. But when there's no stems, you see all flowers. Ta-da! And here you have your garden style bouquet featuring the Moab Rose by RosaPrima. Just remember, it doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful.